hello. Not coping without my hat. I have no idea where my cap's gone. It's somewhere in the flat somewhere. And when I bumped into all of the counsellors or pre-counsellors, invoke counsellors, I really could have done with it being on me. But I did have my Step Up Britain hoodie, which is completely useless because the website's down. Um, and but there you go. So I'm gonna try to use these maybe hour that Shiloh has fallen asleep to, I don't know, pretend I've maybe got a date night tonight and try to write down the steps by steps. Does anyone remember House Swap? On House Swap, or Wife Swap, or whatever it was, they would give a manual to somebody who would be coming into their home to take over their home for exactly how the house should be ran. So whether or not I've got to go into hospital for any medical intervention, A&E, or whatever, it's no different than whether Dean was coming to pick me up to us to go out on a date night, or whether I'm a single mum and I'm going out on a date night and someone's coming to babysit. Who I choose to let into my home and look after my children and my home and my belongings and everything that I possess and all of the things that are in my home. I even said on the meeting the other day that I wouldn't even leave them to look after my children. One of the grounds that I said about the social worker and why I wouldn't let her look after my children is I said that at night time on Saturdays when I'm at home with my kids, it's mine and my boys like date night. When you're so programmed and you're so conditioned to the ways of the world that exist in us now, and that means basically in September, as a mother of a then will be 5-year-old, I'm expected to then come into the education calendar. One of the reasons that the UK will never ever ever have sustainability, longevity, and actually proceed to grow in the way that it needs to grow is because they change over every 4 years. Change over. I've lived here in Portsmouth now 6 years, and I am only just starting to be able to maybe think about putting down some roots and maybe having some form of familiarity. Obviously, I have had massive complex trauma. I don't think anybody has ever understood what I have gone through, and it has been very difficult for me to talk about it, especially live, because people were ringing social, ringing the police. This time last year, I was coming into my birthday and I decided that I was going to go and dance at, I apologise if I've got problem with my sound on this, but it's technology and I don't have the technology that I need to work at the best of my ability to do what I'm doing. I have to work with what I've got, where I am, improvise, and just keep on keeping on basically. Got my dishes above my head, normal everyday life to get on with. But with the great reset on us, and today is a day that when you all go back on Monday, things are going to change. Many countries will get locked back down. Many key workers will be moved. There'll be lots of moving people in because obviously during this time, all of the satellites have all gone up and everything. Well, I don't think they've made it into some countries. I don't know how Ethiopia is still standing. I don't know how it's going with China and places like that. I do know that things like Crackbook, YouTube, things like that are not in every country. One of the reasons that I came off of Facebook was because one, it was a mass political time with what was going on with Trump, and there was lots of people getting injunctions put on them to bring them off of Facebook. My videos were getting taken down. Once I'd put up the video, I think it was the film Songbird, the moment I'd put Songbird up, that was it. My accounts completely got sort of thing. So I went over to YouTube But I'm not somebody who's up there with 50,000, 60,000, hits, views and things like that. And it isn't actually about that. But I find YouTube very difficult as somebody like me to work with. I like the way that Crackbook works in terms of things like this. Oh, thank you very much, my little man.
I can't do it.
I shall do it for you. I shall grab that. You asked me to make you the bit and you didn't even eat it.
I need it.
Okay.
I think it's disgusting.
Okay. Right, give us 5 minutes then, dude, and then I'll need to make the most of Shiloh asleep. You've got my plasticine, yeah? Got my blue tack.
I need a lot of it.
I don't know where the rest is, and I need it because I've got to start doing my timeline again. So, you gonna say hello? You coming to say hello? Since when did you go shy? Those who don't remember, who haven't been over on YouTube, this is Elijah. You lost your tooth, haven't you? How old are you?
4.
4. And when are you 5? When are you 5?
Look. Can you do that?
What school
Can
are
you
you
do
got to go to?
this?
What school are you going to?
Go on, do this.
Oh, hang on. We all got to do this now. Go on. What are you doing?
Do this.
Where's your tooth gone? Where's it gone?
Oh. The all fell out.
It fell out, did it? Yes. Right, he's probably going to be really silly now. I shouldn't have said that, but I've just jinxed myself. I thought I would take the opportunity with Shiloh asleep. Yes, darling. Mum, 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 mum.
I want you to give me the books, and I need to put a lot of.
You want the puzzle books? All right. Do you know what? I knew he's an opportunist, my son. Yes, I will get this down. We have these 2 wonderful books that I really wanted to keep. And I really, 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 really wanted these to last. They're so lovely, and they really are. Where are they going? I want them. Excuse me. Oh, we haven't got our TV, by the way, because Shiloh decided to play rounders in here and did the most awesome shot. Smacked right into the telly, bounced the telly down, but luckily went back out and found another one. But these are absolutely lovely. Look. They've got, it's meant to be a puzzle. I don't know if you can see it. So it's meant to be here. So they're puzzles. But unfortunately, I've been trying to get the time, and this might have to be my date night with the boys tonight, but I haven't had the time to go through this and literally put them all back. Please, 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 please. Now Shiloh's not in here, you can do that properly, yes?
Wait.
Good. Okay. And it's one of them really complex ones as well. So yeah, I've got all the normal shit. I've done it again. I keep doing it. I hate these damn cookers. I don't know how people cope with these really old cookers. But whenever I've got the oven on, one of the kids always flips the switch. I do tend to have things on the top. And bloody done it again, haven't I? It is something that I'm renowned for doing. It is. I hate them. I absolutely hate them. I'm used to totally different things around me, and things being so much more functional. Like even just parking outside my front door and being able to bring the kids in. Because if the 2 boys fall asleep, I've got to bring them all the way up and everything like that. And I had these problems with Aaron and Faith. So anyway, the reason that I've come on is that we've got 2 weeks now. Every single parent or child, person who has been affected by the multi-agency framework and hasn't been receiving, and this word entitlement is really difficult because, as you've all noticed, is you were all asked to not go to work, so you were furlonged, yeah? Now, if someone's sick or you give birth to a child who's got complexities, we do have a system in this country, in the UK, that says, cool, fantastic, you have a disability. You can go on disability, or what's personal independent payments. We have sick pay. We have these things. Yes, darling, statutory sick pay. Yes, darling. Oh, I'd said I wasn't doing things like that right now. What I will help you with is by getting a bit more light in here, maybe. It's a bit of a dark day today. I will be sitting down with you later to do that. I did say I would do once everything was straight. Take, whether it's called disability living allowance for children or whether it's personal independent payments. If you are a person who has an amputated leg because you've come back from a war place and it's been blown off, there are things that you will need. Like, you will need a replacement leg, you're going to need a crutch, you're going to need pain management, you need physio, you need rehabilitation, you're going to need potential surgery. All these things cost money. We here in the UK have the NHS, the National Health Service. That means that we don't have to have insurance policies like out in America, out in Australia. We are so damn fucking privileged because we are pretty much the only country that has what is considered free medical. It's not free. We pay our national health, national insurance for this.
I want my Play-Doh things.
I haven't got any Play-Doh. We've used all the Play-Doh. I need to replace the paints and Play-Doh for this summer. We need to go and get loads and loads and loads of paints and play. Well, in fact, we need more because we're taking it out with us this summer, aren't we?
But Mum.
Yes, you can make the jelly in a bit.
Can you help?
I'll tell you what I'll do.
Can you find the roller?
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you some of this to chomp on. You can have a play with it because we've got loads to make. What? Eat it.
What is it?
Jelly.
What is that?
It's jelly. I'm going to make it in a minute. Make it into jelly. Not want to eat it.
It's jelly.
So anyway, take corruption away from all of
I don't
this.
want to.
All right, well, I'm going to eat it.
No.
Take away
I need some more, Miss. Not anything.
children being kidnapped by the state.
And don't eat another one because you'll be fat. Oh, you're fat, mummy.
Did you just hear that? I'm not allowed to eat another one or I'll be a fat mummy. Where did you get that mindset from?
From that dog.
Oh.
You'll be fat, mummy.
Oh, okay. What dog?
The one I just gone. Can I have that?
Well, no, because I actually want to eat the rest of that, but and then we need to make the rest of it. But you can have a bit of it.
But don't bite it.
Yeah.
Don't bite my one.
Okay.
Don't bite my one. Don't bite my one.
If you don't want it though, put it back because Shiloh's going to be making it.
Excuse me, I need that one.
What, you want it? Pull it. Bite it off. Pull it. He's not impressed with my cat.
He bites it! Take it away! And don't like one being eaten!
Okay, but it's mine. That's my germs.
But why going to crush this?
Anyway, I thought Elijah was going to give me a chance to talk about what I wanted to talk about.
Why going to crush it?
Let me just leave you with the fact that if you know what an SEN is, which is special needs education, so basically if your child or you went to school and you had, say, dyslexia, classed as autism, you were adopted, you're in foster care, all of these things that would mean that you were entitled to a little bit more individual and reasonable adjustments used to be called special needs education. It's now going to be called education and health care plan, right? So basically they have to look at your children and they have to go, okay, so take my two children, they have been diagnosed on the hypermobility spectrum. So basically, so originally I was diagnosed with Asperger's. Asperger's is now gone, and we're all under the autistic spectrum. Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, they're trying to kick out and just put us all under the hypermobility spectrum, which is an absolute pain in the fucking arse. It's all to do with budgeting. It's all to do with categorising people. It's the same as what's going on right now in terms of Great Britain as a whole. So if you look Great Britain as a whole, they're reclassifying all of the governing areas now. So I don't know if people understand, but police have patches. So each police officer is assigned a patch. So each member of parliament, so that's what they are, voted in members of parliament, oversee a constituency. Mayors are mayors generally of cities and things like that, and they oversee patches. So at the moment I think it's still done in patches. I'm not sure. I'm trying to see how the grid works. That's what I need to be able to find now, how we as Great Britain are being gridded off. Great Britain is so small in comparison to the rest of the world. It's unbelievable how small, how minute. We are like a pin on a board in comparison to the rest of the world. They could drop one bomb on us and we're gone. That's it. Bye-bye Great Britain. You know, and the way things are now. What people have to understand is when people have been going through child protection and children in need, child protection is for criminal. It is for people that have sexually, physically, emotionally harmed their children. The majority of people have had their children taken for possible future emotional harm. Emotional abuse is horrible. Bullying is horrible. If I was to take this piece of paper and let's say to this lovely, 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 perfect piece of paper that it's a cunt. You're a bastard. Shithead. Wanker. Fucking twat. And then let's go, oh, I'm so sorry. I really didn't mean to say that to you. And then let's try putting it back. And unfortunately, it will never, ever, ever be the same again. You will never, ever, ever be able to take those words back. So the power of emotional abuse is really intense. Even to call a child is stupid. But the problem with all of this system around us is it's not catered. They are still not providing children who have asthma and all of these things correctly. Children are still, who were dyslexic, still going through all of them challenges. The education system is not right for everybody because it's about a structure. The education system was designed for factory workers. That assumed that literally factory workers would be ready to literally go in, dump, kids have gone. Mums would drop them off or nans would drop them off at school, or they would go in walking parades to school. It wasn't designed for people who travel the world. It wasn't designed for people who work in different cities. It was designed... does anyone else know any children that have to take off all of their clothes to go to the toilet?
They say yes.
It does. He has to take everything off to go to the toilet.
No, scared.
Oh, hang on. You've got your hood on. I might have to. There you go.
What about this?
Why can't you just keep your clothes on?
No. Just in case it goes through, it'll be broken.
Well, no, it won't. That's an incorrect belief system, really. He really does. He really has to get completely undressed in order to go to the toilet.
I'm naked with that.
Oh, cool. You're pumping away there, dude. That's stinky.
You
Right,
mean
put your
the
foot.
feet? You mean my feet?
So even it doesn't matter whether this is prison. It doesn't matter whether it's social care. It doesn't matter whether it's policing. It doesn't matter. Antisocial behaviour is any behaviour that is deemed outside the natural form of conformity. It doesn't necessarily mean it has to be criminal. It doesn't necessarily mean that children are out there smashing things up. Yes, darling.
I need help.
You only have to intimidate somebody.
The windows open just
Now,
in case there's light.
Okay, and the window's open. This daddy opens the windows when he goes in, and so he likes to open the windows like that. There you go. Oh, I'll put this up because it's wet on the floor. There you go. Go, 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 go. I'm trying to move around. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure that the kids didn't actually distract me I just wanted to come out with something quite quick, to be honest. What I'm trying to explain, and as I've explained to everybody else, I said to everybody today, how would you feel being called a child abuser? I said they'd find it offensive. I said most people with physical condition do not want to be labelled with disabled. I said, how do you feel having to live under categories that actually do not even define you as a person? And if you were categorised by this, you're always being told, oh, it's only a tick box, doesn't matter. It does matter. It does. If somebody has gone to the services because they are homeless, they should be on the tick box, homeless. If a mother is going into hospital to have a baby and the father needs to be there, or there isn't a father, yes, darling, and she needs childcare. With what, darling?
Away from my bum.
Oh, we finished, have you? Give me 2 seconds.
Wow, head. Wow, head. Wow, head. Where is it?
Stay there, stay there, stay there, stay there, stay there. Do not walk past. He's not got your clothes on. I'll wait until face. Right, now. Now you can walk past. So even take that situation there. If you can't physically wipe your bum, and that's what the system is about, can you physically wipe your bum? Can you physically make and prepare your dinner? Can you walk so far without further deterioration? Do you have mental health issues? Blah, 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 blah. It's not interested in what you're trying to achieve within your own life. So, but if you're, say, really disabled and they take you out to do things and you're doing it with carers, it's different. But people don't want that. They want their family and friends. They want their communities. They want... What's the matter? You don't have to. You're done. Nugget. People don't want to be walking around with signs around their neck saying hidden disability. And the people in the families, when they've got these conditions or things like that, they don't want to be sitting in categories of child abuse and things like that. There is no family support system. Adult social care and children's social care is so fragmented. What is considered criminal over civil, and families that are having to deal with all of this, that then are arguing over this, what they're saying, and it's causing arguments in families. It really is. It's causing a whole divide in families. It causes arguments between couples, and then you get put into a box. There's no system that's talking about, they have the label strengthening families now, but it's not. You can't strengthen a family by coming in and putting under a category of, even if it's children in need or child protection. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy. You have to define that. And if that need is using the services because they're medical, then no, it doesn't work like this. And this is why we've all got to come together now by formalising it the way that it should be. So take me. I'm Kelly. I have a lost unlost syndrome. It has me, and sometimes we dance. Sometimes we skate too. When it has me, how does that affect me? And what is it that I need in that time to be able to continue doing what I need to do, or rest to make sure that I can stabilise to continue doing things? How does that affect me being a mum? Now, I can tell you one thing that I find very difficult as an EDS mum, and that is carrying my children through from the sofa to their bedroom and putting them on their bed. They're very floppy and I'm very floppy. You get over these little hurdles, you find ways around it. But you shouldn't be criminalised for this. And that's what it's doing, it's criminalising. It's causing for people to not work with the system, and then when the system then can't come in, it can't check if everything's okay because it's coming from a child protection point of view. This is where this whole system has to change. Elijah and Shiloh, swimming is fundamental. They have denied them the swimming. I have explained over and over and over again that by law the ratio of children is 1-on-1 for under 4s. In order to take them into a government state place, that ratio still has to stand. So to go swimming, all they had to do all this time, social worker could have come with me. Wouldn't have that been nice? Wouldn't have that been nice? Wouldn't have that been nice that all this time while I've been trying to do, but then how do you formalise friendships when you've got a social worker with you? Here's the catch-22, or a carer. How do you have proper relationships with your community when you have carers with you? Or your mum having to come out with you, or your dad having to come out. Imagine having such a condition that your dad has to come out with you on a date to make sure that your daughter is not vulnerable. I would have liked that. I'd have loved my dad on dates. I've never actually really been on dates, but I would have loved my dad to have come out on my dates. That would have been funny. And this is why I just can't stand the way that's what's going on with what it's going on now. But we do have to do this. We all have to get the names of the people that are all going into position. We've all got to push it. We've all got to stand our ground again. They've now been voted back in again, so we're 4 years back around again. So now we've just got to wait over these next 2 weeks after everybody gets put into position. Who's going to take all of the heads of all of these positions? To save time, if you know the emails of the people taking your positions, please send it over to Step Up Britain to save us and to build another database, because it's so long-winded to do so. And we have to push from all things, all sides, all sort of sides. It has to go from everything holistic. The way we're working, the way we have this exchange of money, the way that we all live. People were not meant to be struggling. People were not meant to be relying on food banks. People were not meant to be in council. People were not meant to be dumped onto disability and outcasted from society. People were not meant to have children taken and pushed out onto the streets. We shouldn't have people with such problems. And then the worst thing is we're being led by fat cats. Obesity is one of the biggest mental health issues. It is one of the biggest hidden mental health issues with obesity. Those who are larger than they should be have low self-esteem, low self-worth, low self-confidence, and are battling more than anyone could ever know. Yet we're having to deal with what are considered the fat cats leading the way. People who don't understand health. People who don't get people who get up for sunrise to train, to do their Pilates, to eat healthily. People who don't understand the difference between having cleaners and not having cleaners. People don't get it. The top, middle and bottom doesn't understand how the other life is living. They don't get it. Even the guy that I was with last night while we were going for a walk, you know, he'd said he'd come from Kensington in London, you know, where he's a Hispanic cleaner and cook and all of that, and he doesn't live that much of a different life here in Portsmouth. We're from very two different worlds here, just in Portsmouth. He can eat out every night of his life if it was open. He's really struggled being in his home. I don't want to talk about people's personal circumstances or things like that, but I'm talking about people who have had to go through this whole lockdown and really refine and really think about their lives. People on benefits, it hasn't affected. Most people are on lockdown. Their budget doesn't allow them to be out having the lifestyle of everybody else, and most of them don't have the confidence to be out and about anyway. A lot of people have liked the masks in order to be able to hide, to be able to get out and do more. But literally these next 2 weeks, and the good thing is there's going to be a lot of different people coming through. Not everyone's going to have come from Eton or the big Oxfords or Cambridge. You're going to see more and more and more people. The law says ex-army, police service and all of that can't go in, but there's going to be positions in everywhere, and we have to be writing to them now. Again, we have to be bringing this harder and faster. You know, XR are all on all of the committees and panels. We have to bring a proper frontline family service, and people just need someone to talk to, somebody to work things out. Not everybody's been given the tools, not everybody's been given the skills. Some couples just don't know how to work out a chore list between them, and it's as simple as that. And all these kids that are coming in now, me sitting back as in my 40s, seeing these kids graduating, coming into all of these services, I get more and more worried about these millenniums coming in now. They have a salary, their mobile bills are paid for, they can make calls when they need, they're at work most of the time, they get to maybe go out and play football, have a couple of games, do a bit of charity work. Oh, it's the wrong hat though. I need my hat. This one. See, even my son knows what I'm like for my hats. This one's a bit too small, dude.
It's a fat one.
Oh, shush. This one doesn't quite work. Sometimes the hat doesn't fit. Do you know what I mean, does it? So anyway, I'm going to bugger off. I'm going to be back around. I told you I'm going over onto Instagram with my skating. I'm just a bit pissed off because I really want my skates for my birthday. And I've got so many bills coming out, I can't. I can see you, and my car insurance is costing me a fortune, like mental, like £192 a month. So until I line up in court, and that is all I'm doing, until I line up in court, I'm just going further and further down a hole, and I need to get myself out of it. I've got to step up for my family now. I've seen everything going on. I could have been in a better position. I could have prepared for it. I knew what was coming. I have doubted myself along the way. Obviously, once lockdown came, it was inevitable what was coming down next. I saw and knew, but to see it happen in front of my own faces, and also to now go back to all the messages and see some of the messages that I had. Like, I didn't even know that I was put on occupy.co.com. I didn't know all of this. I'm watching, darling. I didn't know I was on some American church website. Yes, what you're doing is... Yeah, but it doesn't matter. You find out where your fear lies. You'll know if you need to step back. You'll know. But you could fall down the stairs, yes. So, but you're going to be going swimming. That's all we're doing, swimming. I'm struggling. I'm really struggling to find a place to go swimming. It didn't go so well at David Lloyd's because I can't stand... It's like one family in the pool. And I can't stand that anxiety. If I just get in the pool and then another family turns up, I don't want to feel like I've got to get my kids out of the pool because another family's coming in. And people don't argue with me over not wearing a mask. But, I'm not that person who's keeping the fire going. I've always social distanced, if you want to call it that. I've always personal boundaried. So yeah, that's sort of where I'm up to at the moment. I hope you guys are all okay. I would really like to do a bit of a Q&A to see how everybody's feeling, why people follow, what people are doing, what people want from this, because I need to move up in other areas, because obviously, everything that I've done was trauma-based. From the moment that Aaron and Faith were taken, it was a do-or-die situation. It was they didn't just take my kids, they had my car taken off of me, they had me evicted. If I hadn't have had Graham for Daniel, Graham and Cara, and to take Liam on, then there could have been a situation there, but luckily I did. So I am back in a home. It's council, that's great, brilliant, fantastic, but it doesn't work, it's not great. I can't keep living with it, like the fact that we don't even have a bath. And I need to do all this myself. I don't want to be banging my head against these people, because if you give them a problem, they'll come back with you and take that word and turn it into something that fits the box. And it's like, well, I would just rather struggle the way that I have. I've gone through bins, I've got my stuff from bins. I mean, I've got my bedroom furniture now, by the way, guys. Last time you saw me, I didn't even have bedroom furniture. My bed's not made, by the way, but welcome to my bed. And obviously I've got the 2 wardrobes, the 2 drawers, the sofa in here. I'm still dealing, still getting there and things, and still putting things in place, and it's so slow, but it just goes to show how bad that system is, that a mother with EDS who was a high-risk pregnancy in a relationship with a baby on the way, who's gone to the system, has had to go through now 3 properties, and then they had a go at me for moving myself 4 times with Aaron and Faith, and still I haven't had the correct OT assessment done, and still when I ask the now social workers that are dealing with us now, what is Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, they still can't tell me. And that's exactly the same as a social worker who, after battering me for 6 months, taking Aaron and Faith, I said to her, Carrie, what is Ehlers-Danlos syndrome? And she went, So these social workers are not individually tailored to anything. Where it's being failed is in the support groups. Support groups are taking so much money and not helping families, and they're not.
Mom.
Yes, darling.
Who's taking Aaron and Faith?
No. Who's taking Aaron and Faith?
Yeah.
Flintshire Council. Affects him.
I fainted.
He's just pretend to faint it. We'll see them one day. We will see them one day. I promise. We will see them. You'll meet them. You'll meet Aaron and Faith. I don't know when, but you will. The question is, will they accept us? And that's the challenge. I could give up my entire life for 2 children who may never, ever, ever want to see me. I don't know what's been said to them, what trauma they've been through. It could be the most wonderful reuniting of a family, or it could be one of the biggest freaking disasters, and I go through this my whole life, giving up what could have been a potential of a really lovely second chance as a family, to still be here, still doing it. I never left, I've never gone away, I'm still here. The mayor has blocked me. Even when I'm going over to these groups, I know which one I know and which one I don't. I've been here in Portsmouth battering. I mean, literally, I will make them understand what they are doing. I will go to every level to get people to understand what you do to somebody. Like, take the fact that my boys are going to stay at my mum's over on Thursday. Do you know how many traumas I'm going through? Do you know, I don't even know where my kids are going. I don't even know where my mum lives. That alone is worse than what I was put through with Aaron and Faith. Because Aaron and Faith were taken to somewhere I didn't know where they were going. I didn't know these people. I didn't know the inside of the home. I didn't know the environment they were in. I didn't know what the bed was like that they were sleeping in. I didn't know what the bedding was like. I didn't know what the bath was like that they got in. I didn't know how they were getting bathed. I didn't know the table that they were sitting at to have their breakfast or their dinner or their tea. I didn't know what they were being fed. And having that going on constantly in your heart as a mother is really hard work. Fathers that are alienated from mothers, they know mum might raise her voice, but she's not a bad person. She might get a bit stressy. She might sit in the kitchen on her phone, and that's pretty much the worst. She's not bodgering the kids. She's not having them trafficked. I'm not saying there aren't women out there that do this, but they know where they are. They don't have that constant anxiety of not even knowing where they are. And that is worse, and that is horrible. Even just driving in a car, that I don't have that certainty when my children are in a car, when they're off the road, because there is that constant worry that if something happens, I'm responsible. And it's me they'll take it out on. My kids get a bruise, I'm the one that gets pulled and lose my kids. My mum drives down the road and crashes the car, I'm the one that's responsible. My mum chooses to be an arsehole in previous times, doesn't bring my kids back. I'm the one that trusted. And the dog's warning me. You know, so, and I have this trauma with their dad as well, and I do. But that's what the system does, because it threatens to take your children from you, and they have to learn what this is doing. Yes, you can actually. You can have my phone now if you want. I'm going to bugger off and let them have my phone. Yeah, and it'll give me a chance to wash up, tidy up, get on top of things, and pretend I have a date tonight. And hopefully Shiloh will be in a bit of a better mood. It's paperwork. Catch you later.